I was introduced to Nicole a couple of years ago through the National Association for Children Impacted by Addiction. And it's been great because she's done some really good work for us, and she sure taught me a lot. She works for the Illinois Liquor Control Commission. And as she goes through this, I'm not going to do a long introduction, although I've got one here for you. I want you to share what you want people to know that's giving you all this information.
All right. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it very much. And as usual, I enjoy speaking and coming to talk to everyone. And I really do appreciate our relationship. As Nancy said, my name is Nicole Sanders. I am the Industry Education Manager here at the Illinois Liquor Control Commission. Uh, Basically, I am a Director of Communication and a PIO for the agency, but I oversee our education program, which includes um, making sure that the public as well as the industry members are well aware of all things alcohol, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I make sure that our hospitality individuals in the state are all Bassett trained. Right now, we have about 320,000, 25,138, I believe is the last number I looked at, uh, people in the state of Illinois who have to be a Bassett trained individuals. Um, I have other programs underneath my division, but right now I am a one woman show, and I have been since January of this year. So, press releases, information that goes out to the agency is coming from me somehow, some way. But for today, I wanted to just talk a little bit about protecting the youth and what the community needs to know. Now, quick background about me. Before doing this, I worked in other industries in the public sector, but one of them happened to be I worked 8 years in advertising. My client, one of my biggest clients was McDonald's. So I worked around people who worked with multiple companies. So I have a good knowledge of advertising and how it works a little bit. So I'll throw a little bit of that in this presentation as well. So to get started, in the interest of time, we'll go start here from the beginning. We will discuss a little bit about the holiday season because it is approaching. Um, Advertising and how marketing plays a big part just in product confusion or just product promotion for consumers, the power of social media, the latest trends adults should know about, and some tips and ideas for how to talk to your young people about alcohol. So the first thing is the holiday season is approaching. What does that mean? So for me, my background, there are three things I like to focus on for the holiday season. And this is my personal things as well as things for the industry and public. One is the increase in advertising. You will notice an increase in advertising, increase in commercials, more fun displays everywhere you go. The reason is for this because a lot of the companies want to increase the revenue or meet their fourth quarter goals. So you'll be flooded with more advertising, more than your normal. Um, right now, spirit sales, this is a 2023 statistic, but in 2023, US spirit sales rose to 0.2%, which equates to about $37.7 billion. Um, the volume of sales increased by 1.2%, which is about $308 million. Um, so the industry itself is brings in a lot of money, which is why there's so many people trying to jump in the marketplace. There's so many people trying to find niche marketplaces within this marketplace, which I'll discuss a little later with the co-branded products. The second thing on the list was just celebration. Holidays bring celebrations, family gatherings. Kids are on school break. You have New Year's coming up. So it's like from the moment I want to say November, basically right now, to January 2nd, people are going out, having a good time, drinking. Kids are home. They're doing all types of events with the children. Uh, right now, they're gearing up for the parade. I work in Daily Plaza here in downtown. The Kris Kringle Market is being built as we speak. Um, the third thing is depression and stress. These things can be caused by a very amount of things like money, just family, and the unknown. There are a lot of people right now that don't know if they're going to have a job. When you have these kind of factors going into play, people tend to look toward alcohol sometimes as the way to self medicate. The reason being because alcohol is the easiest and most available thing that people can buy, and it's typically the cheapest. Uh, and just so we can think about it. So if you think about adults, we make decisions for ourselves, and decision to drink or not drink is a choice that we make. I'm so sorry for the ambulance in the background. Um, that's like 5 times a day. Um, but we don't realize that the same concerns, the same things that we deal with as adults with the advertising, the celebrations, and the stress and depression, children actually deal with the same things. Children deal with depression, sadness, stress. We might not realize it, but they do. And I want you to just think about the times when you were a kid. Like, did you ever feel bad about asking for an expensive gift as a kid? If you knew your parents really were having a hard time, you would feel a little bit bad about asking for an expensive gift, even though you wanted it. Or any times that you were disappointed that you didn't get the gift or the toy or whatever it is that you wanted around the holidays, just how you felt, and put that same feeling to our kids now. The other thing was, did you ever feel obligated to visit family even though you didn't want to go? And I can say from a personal experience, there were definitely times where I did not want to leave my house to just go visit family. I love them, but I didn't want to see them that day. And you were around the holidays, you're expected to go. So those things can also bring stresses and sad, make kids a little upset. Um, and when by doing that, a lot of times, if kids see parents having a good time partying or whatever, drinking, they will associate having a good time or being sad with alcohol. And it's almost like you're creating the next generation of individuals who have that thought process. Um, just to move on, alcohol has changed. It has changed a lot since 1934, uh, since the Liquor Control Act was signed. Uh, and in this ever-changing world, co-branded and alcohol-infused products have entered the marketplace. They entered them quickly. They found little niche marketplaces within the marketplace, and they have created products that ideally were kid-friendly products or things that we remember from our childhood. They have brought them back, but just added alcohol. Um, this has there's a nostalgic effect to this because when you look at the things that we drank, when I was a kid, I had what it was like. I think I'll show you a Sunny D ad later, but I had Sunny D as a kid. I had all those little things, Warhead candy as a kid. Now they make it in a drink. I can personally say I have not tried this because I did not like Warheads as a kid, but I'm pretty sure someone did. So in the fall of 2022, soft drinks manufacturers began shelving alcoholic versions of their products. These products had nearly identical labels. Okay, so they're very similar. Parents, if they went on the shelves, they probably would have picked up the alcoholic version without realizing it would had alcohol in it because they were stocking these on the shelves next to their non-alcoholic infused products. So they were on the same shelf, similar labels. Very easy to make this mistake, right? So the IOCC, we want to mitigate the risk by calling for assistance for retailers to basically ensure these products were separated so there was no confusion. Because I tell people this all the time, you don't know who's shopping with your kids. If parents are busy, they could be moving around, not paying attention, they can pick it up. Cashiers are not technically trained to notice, and if the label is not marked alcoholic or the scan does not go off, they'd let a person walk out the store with it. You have some kids who are raised by grandparents or aunts, uncles, some guardians. They may not notice either. And because these things are marketed and they are advertised, I think most adults don't see it as something that can be potentially harmful because it looks so similar to a non-alcoholic version of the product. This is a game that we created last year, and there are 4 alcoholic products in this game right now. I'll give you guys 30 seconds. And when you notice it, you'll be like, oh, but initially you will not notice it. Because of that, this is why we had to do something about it. Uh, this is just one product placement situation. If you look here, all of this stuff is kid friendly stuff. I mean, I love popcorn, don't get me wrong, but I don't need the popcorn next to a hard Mountain Dew. This looks like a one stop shop to me. You can go get your popcorn, your alcohol, and you walk out the store. And these are all things that are eye level to children. It's another situation that we found. Kool-Aid right behind the hard was that Mountain Dew? And then we have Hot Wheels, hard Mountain Dew. I probably shouldn't say this, but it's like, oh, here, drink and drive. That was my first thought when I saw this. Like I said, niche markets. Everyone's trying to get into this marketplace because they feel like it is lucrative. One of the things is just the influence of alcohol is a general. Advertisers tend to use certain things to appeal to certain demographics, and they advertising strategies target consumers who are part of a specific demographic. The intended demographic has been targeted with the help of focus group and market research. So, based on your age, location, socioeconomic status, and accessibility, the idea is to pinpoint the demographics and just who can be impressed upon the easiest and what group is eager to follow trends. As adults, we know we're not as eager to follow trends, but young people are. If you are on TikTok, you can tell right now if someone on TikTok goes and says this is a great product, the next day it will probably be sold out of the stores. So they use things like brand recognition, design, and innovation. The brand recognition is more like the trends, the nostalgia, and the status of a product. Design is the functionality and the colors. Some colors actually do draw people to them easier. And an innovation is what can disrupt the marketplace and, like I said, create a new niche. If you look at this image right here that says which products contain alcohol, later you can tell me, but can you even tell which one of them have alcohol? If you're shaking your head, no, I don't see it, but yes, it is hard to tell. It's actually the top right called Funny Water. That actually has alcohol in it. So it is not water. It's alcohol infused water. So alcohol. I believe it was about maybe 5 or 6% alcohol in this. But if you look at LaCroix, Bubbly, or Aha, those are water. Those are sparkling waters. But if you put these all on the shelves, would you know the difference? Because they're using the exact same color schemes. This is another image we found. And again, you guys saw a few things, but there is alcohol in this image. And it is the second shelf to the right. Those are Monsters. Monster came out with a product called the Beast. It is an alcohol infused energy drink. But again, once you take it out, you look at it, you really can't tell the difference unless you know this. But here we go. So one of the advertisers we saw, I got an image. I got sent this image from someone, and it was saying, "Look who's turning 21." Now, although I'm not an energy drink person, I know people who drink energy drinks, and they've been around for a very long time. But this ad to me is definitely saying that it's trying to bait people into drinking because now you're 21. Product has probably been around at least 20 years, if maybe a little less, but about 20 years. So it's grown up with people. So it's keeping its constant flow of consumers. This is the Sunny D. Now, this initially does not look like the same packaging. I understand that. But if you read the advertising for it, it is taking the nostalgia of being when you were younger and you had Sunny D to now you're an adult. So it's saying, hey, we now have this product, but we added alcohol so you can continue to buy from us. Um, and this image was actually picked up on a national news station as well. As we move forward as we progress um, between last year and this year, like I said, more and more products started coming out. One of them was Dunkin' Donuts wanted to jump in the game and infuse their coffee. Um, this is my only question. This is my question to most people. When do you normally drink coffee? In the morning, okay? Most people leave their house in the morning to go to work. What do you have to get in to get there if you're not using public transportation? You have to use your car. And we'd be remiss to say that there are not people that are buying these and driving to work while drinking them. I have no stats to prove that. I don't. But just in general consensus of just humans, there's a chance that someone's doing that. On the left are the spiked ones. On the right are the non-alcoholic versions. But again, you'd have to pay attention to know that.
Nicole, I don't know if you can see the chat or not, but someone asked, what kind of liquor are they spiking these with? I mean, it's what's going in it. Do you know?
So it varies based on the product. So I think I was told by a bartender that if you go to a coffee shop and they're allowed to have sell alcohol and they want a Irish cream, I want to say that's something like a oh geez, I forgot what he said. Like a Bailey's or maybe like a vodka or some kind of cream liqueur. But even still, that's about 5%. And no, I can't see the chat. I'm sorry. So if someone's asking questions, if you want to shoot it out to me, I'll answer it. Um, yeah. What you should know, like I said, a lot of these products contain at minimum 5% alcohol. Some are higher. I like I said, that I think the coffee was 6%. But we also have to remember that alcohol, and you guys all know this, alcohol is a depressant. It is not, it's a depressant. So it brings your body down. That's why it's kind of dangerous to drink alcohol and take energy drinks because it's a stimulant and you have a depressant. It's like you give off a wide awake uh, drunk feeling because you have two different things, two opposite like chemicals working simultaneously. Um, if you purchase these products, the one thing we really want to impress is that please make sure they're out of reach of children. Children can get to anything, anywhere, anytime, anyhow. I don't know how they do it, but they are magicians. Uh, if you put it on the highest shelf in your house, there's a chance your kid's gonna climb up there and get it. They have no idea it's there, but they find it anyway. Um, if you do have young adults in your house, those teenagers, those 14, 15, 16 years old, and I check the use alcohol survey often, uh, have the conversation with them, express to them how, you know, alcohol can harm them, whether it's, you know, it messes with their brain development. It messes with, I tell my niece and nephew sometimes, hey, my nephew's a little short. Now he's probably going to be a little short his whole life because of just genetics. But I say, hey, if you do this, you know you're going to stunt your growth. So you want to be a basketball player. It's going to be hard to do that if you stunt your growth because you want to go out here and drink. So, you know, have those conversations with them. It's okay to be lighthearted with them, but also get the message across. Because a lot of times we talk to kids with with kid friendly gloves when they are experiencing life at a rapid pace, way quicker than we are. They are consuming information a lot faster than we are. So to have a genuine conversation where it's open dialogue with children is very important. Uh, One of the things the agency did was we established a permanent rule where every retailer uh, has to, if they have any of these products in their stores, in their locations, they have to have the sign near the product. This sign has to be placed next to products that are alcohol infused, co-branded products, alcohol whatever, so that parents, guardians, they know that when they see this product, it has alcohol in it, so there's no confusion. Now, this rule also extended to our co-branded SB 2625. This covers everything from ice cream, whipped cream, as you see here. Uh, there are a few other products out there that just came out now. So our co-branded products are now going to have that sign as well. This goes in effect January 25th. So right now, ice cream doesn't have that sign next to them if they're infused, but they will eventually. They will as of January 25th. Um, I was scouring TikTok actually before uh, jumping on today, and I just go through and I search. I just look trending kid drinking games just to see what happens, and sure enough, put it in. Jello shots are back. Kids are now have just discovered Jello shots. So it's something we're familiar with because I'm an older person. I've lived a little life. Um, it's amazing that they're just finding this, and I'm like, these have been around for a long time, but to them it's new. So immediately I'm like, okay, well, we have to prepare for companies to look at this or start because they use social media like I use it. They look to see what's trending. So they'll look to see that, and it never fails. There's going to be one company that says, we can make money off this if we start selling these as Jello shots. And the hope is that this co-branded covers that as well. All right, these are some headlines I pulled. This one was actually pulled posted November 7th. These are just some things like marketers and advertisers or just the industry puts out. So you can see where they're trending as far as alcohol. So this one says alcohol sales have been under pressure lately, but getting the right flavors and right boozy gifts in front of customers can pay off, experts say. So when we go back to talking about the increase of your advertising, the more you're going to see all those holiday gift sets with the alcohol and the monogram glasses. That's why you see so many of them, because of those kind of things they want to push, because it has a higher increased value of sales, and it's an easy gift. So people who don't want to do a lot of Christmas shopping, they know their person likes this particular brand of alcohol or Bailey's, peppermint Bailey's. Guess what? Make it a gift set, sell it a premium, more revenue. This second one is talking about Drinksgiving, which we'll get into in a minute because I don't think a lot of people know what that is. Um, I would like to just say, if you see any of these products and they don't have that sign I mentioned, please just send a message to our enforcement team. You can go just submit a tip and they'll check it out. Because like I said, those signs are available on our website. They can come to our office and grab it. So it's really no excuse for any retailer not to have that sign next to those products. And again, it's more so about safeguarding the public, making sure parents are aware, and making sure children just can't get their hands on those products. All right, social media. Spoke about this last time, but I just wanted to go back around it because it is important. Like I said, I use social media now just to check to see what's trending. I don't, other than nieces and nephews, I don't have many teenagers that I can just go ask questions. And honestly, again, teenagers are not forthcoming with information. Um, so, a few things about social media. It is one of your best tools. Period. Parents, I any parent I tell them get on social media. I'm not saying you have to spy your kids, but get on there and just search certain things that you're curious about, that you want to make sure that you know about what your kids are doing. I don't know many kids right now that don't have their phone attached to their hand. I think they're probably a good group of kids that go to sleep with their phone on their forehead because they've been watching it all night and just fell asleep with the phone in their hand. They wake up to it, they go to sleep to it. They can barely focus in school because of it. If I see another TikTok dance, I'm gonna go crazy. But it's a great tool for parents. Get on social media, go through. Facebook has become more of the demographic of Facebook has changed, so now it's more like 26 to 55 years old. Instagram is, I think, it's still about 18 to 20 to 34. TikTok is the youngest demographic. They have the youngest demographic. There are other social medias like Twitter and Trends, but TikTok has been the one has gotten the most 9 to 55, 60-year-old demographic. It covers the array of age groups. But four things are important: upbringing, odd one out, youth, and glamorization. Um, regardless of your upbringing, it's easy to become a product of your environment. So your peer influence, schools, social media can make a child do like basically anything because they want to belong, and that goes into the one odd one out. No kid wants to feel like they're not part of the rest. They don't like it. It gives them anxiety a lot of times, and that's where you get that stress. That's where you get that depression from kids. So going back to that first slide, that's where those things are all drummed up from just their socialization. Okay, the youth, children are told by their peers, adults, and the internet since they were young that they should have fun, enjoy themselves, and that they're young, so their bodies still have time. This kind of rhetoric is actually dangerous and leads to the youth to ignore negative effects of alcohol. So because they want to fit in so bad, they ignore things like if they go out and they drink and they make that decision to do it, they don't understand overconsumption. They don't understand tolerance. They don't understand the ramifications of getting behind a wheel or getting whether they're driving or they're behind a wheel with someone else who has been drinking. Because a lot of people don't talk about that as with children, with young people. You might not be drinking, but you should never get in a car with someone who has. Um, nothing's more nothing is worth that. Just call an adult, get some help. It's not worth it. Uh, glamorization, wanting to capture the exciting moments. Um, I've told Nancy this. My father is a retired state trooper. My mother's an RN. The I am flabbergasted every time I see children put their acts put their acts on social media for everyone to see. I don't understand it. I don't know, maybe it's the way I was raised, but I am not going to display what I do when I know I shouldn't be doing it on the internet for everyone to see. These kids they tell on themselves. Um, and they do it because they think it's cool. They think it's they want to be popular. So they'll go online, they'll do something just silly, make a bad decision, and then look at it, rewind it, make a few edits, highlight their face, change their little filters, and then say, yes, this is what I'm posting. And then wonder why now they're called into the principal office because they now can watch what they did last night. So that's in like I said, when it comes to alcohol trends, like I said, if you go on TikTok right now, searching trends, you'll see so many things. And they just keep coming. And to me, they're looking younger and younger. Um, there was recently a trend where there's a product, and it's been around for years. I think it was called MD 2020. That's what it was. And there were young people trying to drink the full bottle of it, which was about 750, I think, milliliters. And they thought it was a game. And I watched a few and I kept thinking, you guys are going to the hospital. But it was a trend for them. So it's almost as if they don't understand there really are consequences to one, consuming that much alcohol, but just what it's doing to your body. You might not feel it now, but it will catch up with you later. Uh, so, few drinking trends. All right, here we go. The first one, Blackout Wednesday. Has anyone ever heard of Blackout Wednesday? It's also called Drinksgiving. If you're shaking your heads or saying yes, okay, great. If you're not, here we go. All right, the holiday season will begin on November 27th this year for young people returning from college. Blackout Wednesday, aka Drinksgiving, is almost here, and this holiday season is a great time. So what it is, it's a great time for kids who go off to college, usually for their freshman year. They come back home and reunite with their friends and family. Um, a lot of times it's celebration, because they made it through their first semester. Uh, we want to make sure we talked about this last year. We put some social media tips out, and we try to make sure that if you do this, please be responsible. Don't over consume. We do our passive trainings, and we talk about over serving to make sure they're over serving, and then make sure you have a designated driver and you have a plan for when you go out. The reason why we're talking about this because most of those people doing this are college age, but again, freshmen are not 21 for the most part. Most people aren't 21 to about their junior year. So this is things that you're getting 18, 19-year-olds are doing this. They might not go to a bar, but they're definitely going to a friend's house. Essentially what it is it's a day of the year where people go back and they basically get completely wasted the day before Thanksgiving. The whole point is to get completely wasted the day before Thanksgiving. Allow them to do it because they think it's fun. Allow them to do it because, again, they don't want to deal with family. So this is the day they can go and they can make it through the rest of the day. I don't know how they do that. They've been blackout drunk. That doesn't make any sense to me, but teach his own. Uh, which was alarming to me was that I did not know that there were actually places and promotions and advertising about this thing. I went to college. I came home. I didn't know anything about this. And I just found out about a year and a half ago because I just randomly was talking to one of our staffers who was in that age demographic, and she just mentioned. I said, "Hey, what is that?" And of course, she hesitated before looking at me and answering the question. And eventually, she talked to me. She explained what it was, and I said, "Wait, when did this start?" She said, "I think it's been going on for years." Okay, I've been out of college for a while, so maybe I missed that whole train, but she explained it to me. She said they come home. We have one day. They go out. They get completely messed up. She said, and then all they do is care about is go to Thanksgiving and they just eat and go back to sleep. I said, okay, fine, okay. Well, then I said, okay, well, we have to look and see what's going on. Now, for this purposes, I didn't put any of these places' names in it, so none of the locations, but these are some of the advertising. I just put these up today. This is 3 different places here in the city of Chicago. I did not do the whole state. I just said, let me just do a small range, 5-10 miles, and here we go. One of them is a full like a bar crawl. So it doesn't start at like 6 o'clock in the evening. No, it's an all day thing. And by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, these young people are completely wasted. And to parents, they go home, these kids, and again, some of these kids, 18, 19, 20, 21, they go home. Now, the reason why this is important for me is because a lot of times these young people have siblings that are a lot younger. And this is the example they're promoting to them. So they come home wasted. The next day they're irritated, agitated at their siblings. The siblings are just happy they're home. But now you have a hangover. So again, you have the situation where the younger people are going to associate certain things with alcohol. And when you go back to how kids think and how they want to be so part of the crew, they'll assume that this is the way to do it. The next drinking twin, and we spoke about this before. Our boards are still around. They are still very much popular. Um, it's again a drinking trend among young adults. And if you're, like I say, if you're more like most college kids, we went to college, you hang out, you do things. It was the punch in the moving bands. That, like I said, were completely unsanitary. I'm sure. I'm surprised any of us made it, but you were told what alcohol kills germs. I remember that distinctly being a phrase that I heard in college. Today, the youth have changed. They've evolved a little bit. I think they're more cautious with sanitation. So now they use these gallons, and the gallon is basically half water, half alcohol, hydration powder, and water enhancers, Mios, you know, Crystal Light, whatever they can use to just flavor the alcohol. But they're using about 750 milligrams of alcohol in this jug. They label it. They give them fun names. It just has to be a board at the end of it or beginning of it, and this allows them to drink all day on this 1 gallon. Now, again, in one way, it's innovative because it's sanitary. They're not sharing bottles. Um, you know what's in it. For those who don't drink, they can still feel included without people realizing that they're not drinking. So they don't have to add that added pressure of having to drink because they can just fill it with water. Um, the only problem with this is that it's so much alcohol in it that the benefit outweighs the risk. Um, for every gallon, it's about 16 shots. You guys have worked in this industry, so you know 1 ounce. It takes 1 ounce per hour to even deplete alcohol out your system. So it would take them 16 hours to remove that full gallon of alcohol. The addition of the caffeine again doesn't help. It's you doing that stimulant and that depressant. Um, it weakens your brain's responses to the amount of alcohol you're consuming, which that basically makes it feel like you're not tipsy when you are tipsy or drunk. So your body and your brain has not connected the fact that you are actually drunk. You are actually totally intoxicated, but your brain and body don't think you are because the caffeine is kind of giving that jolt. Um, Drinking sometimes can potentially make you black out. If you drink this much alcohol in a 4 hour sitting, the chance of you getting really sick is imminent. Um, because it's so much at one time. Um, and I don't know why the idea of being unconscious in a random place doesn't scare most people, but this is a possibility that could happen. And that again, the benefit outweighs the risk. Uh, I'm going to talk about crossfading just for briefly because I've no I've been told or I've been informed that there is a lot of cross fading going on. If you're a parent and you're not really sure what that means, it's the experience of a combination of alcohol and marijuana or other substances to intensify the effects of both. Um, the interaction between the substances can create a unique and often an unpredictable high that differs from using drugs separately. So right now, I know that a lot of the industry members, hospitality people, have told me that they don't know when these young people come to the bars and restaurants if they've taken anything. Some come in there, they just say had a edible. Well, they don't. The bartenders don't know that, and now they just serve them alcohol, or they just had something to smoke and they came and now they want alcohol. The combination, you don't know how it's going to affect each person. So industry members are very cautious and worried about how these interactions, their interactions with patrons are every time a person comes in because they have no idea what's going on. Um, when people crossfade, like I said, it magnifies the THC effect and it can lead to all types of things like disorientation, poor coordination, obviously, and again, vomiting and just alcohol poisoning in general. And it's becoming more increasingly an issue when I teach classes because, like I said, bartenders, hostesses, they don't know what's happening they don't know what's going to happen when that person walks through that door, and to give them more alcohol on top of that makes everyone a little concerned. And with parents, I'd love to say I have an idea of how to talk about this with your children, but the truth is you might just have to talk plain and simple about them. And because if they're doing both, you have to have the discussion because it is dangerous. If they're 14, 15, 16 years old and they've already started doing this, by the time they're, 20, 25, whatever, their body has already taken a beating. All right. Some ways to communicate with your children. It's hard enough to talk to teenagers. It's hard enough to talk to young people. We've all been there. I am not considered a young person, but I still don't listen to my parents sometimes. So we just had a conversation yesterday. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the opposite of what they said I should do. Uh, and even still, again, so the idea of me having to talk to a 15, 16-year-old, I know that it's going to go in one ear and out the other, but I also understand that by through talking to young people, that if I talk to them a certain way, uh, they hear us. They pretend like they don't, but they hear us. So sometimes you just have to keep talking. Um, One of the biggest things, be patient. Uh, you know, demonstrate that you want to hear what they have to say, that what they're saying has value, that you can have the conversation without judgment for them. A lot of times they don't share because they feel like they're going to be judged or they're immediately going to get in trouble. Um, Share some of your experiences with them. Like I said, I have nieces, nephews, young people in my life. I share experiences with them because, hey, if 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 I already made the boneheaded mistake, I don't want you to. So this is what happened. This is what I did. This was the outcome. I don't want you to do that. Okay. Uh, be someone they can model. Again, adults, we make the choices and decisions, but children, young people, they watch us. They see everything we do. Um, if you're having a gathering and you have gatherings every time you have a gathering, someone's falling down the stairs completely inebriated, and there's kids around. Those kids see that. Some kids are gonna say, "I don't want to be like that." Some kids think it's funny and fun. You don't know what's gonna happen, so you have to have the conversation, explain what happened and why this is not good, and ways to avoid this. Don't put yourself or your children in a situation where they have to question, their safety. You go out, you have a good time, you have your kids, and you drank 3, 4 drinks in 3 hours, and now you're taking the kids home. The kids are gonna notice that as they get older, they'll think back to those times. Like, wait, was mom drive? They're gonna think about that. Um, Talk about the consequences. There are real consequences, and I mean from everything from getting behind the wheel, being in the car with someone who was drinking and driving, um, you know, underage drinking. Uh, if you get caught, how not, how to who to call, what is the plan. Make sure there's a plan for your kids going out. If you know your kids are going to a party, make sure you talk to them, have a conversation with them. Hey, I know you're going to go out. I hope that you don't partake in anything that you shouldn't be doing, because you're not of age and you really shouldn't be doing this. But if you do, call me. This is the plan. I don't care what time. Call me. Call somebody. Call an adult. Come get you. If you feel like you're uncomfortable, call me. Come get you. And every parent's gonna be different. Sometimes you're gonna get on punishment. You're gonna get in trouble. Sometimes it's just the relief that you called me and you were responsible enough to do that. I don't think young people understand it. Just sometimes being responsible about certain situations actually put your parents at ease because at least they can trust you to say, okay, you knew enough to say, I don't need to be here. There was a moment I can say in high school, when I was with friends, I was the kid that said, nope, I'm not supposed to be here because I can't have my dad come pick me up. Like I'm more scared of that than anything else. So I remember I went out, some friends, they were doing some stuff. I remember saying, yeah, we shouldn't be doing this. I'm gonna go. And I called my dad, come get me, please, right now. And he came and he said, do I need that? I said, well, I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm not supposed to be here. And I had no problems doing that. I don't care what situation I was in. I was like, I'm calling my dad. I have to leave. Um, Acknowledge that your audience is transition. This is a big one. As young people grow into teenagers to young adults, they are changing. Their experiences are different. Their experiences are completely different from our experiences now because of social media, because they have access to information at a rapid pace. Uh, there are teenagers, there are young people that don't know what a rotary phone is. There are teenagers, there are young people that have no clue uh, what a cassette tape is. They don't know the they don't know how it feels to have to wait till next week to see another episode of a show that you really liked and have to be there and on time to watch it or you wouldn't see it again. They don't know these things. So their experiences are different and we have to kind of relate to those in a certain way. So when you're talking to a kid about alcohol or any substance, it's I understand that it's better to ask them the question first. So, do you have any questions? Is there anything you want to know? And then let them open up to you about it. I've gone into schools, talked to some teenagers. Um, we've done all the little, I have the goggles and all that stuff. And one student, I had him walking the line, impairment line with goggles on, and he's walking, and his teacher's standing there. He said, "Man, I'm doing good." I said, "Well, that's kind of productive. I don't want you to do good. You should be doing terrible. This is not the one time in your life that I want you to succeed. I want you actually to fail this." He said, "Nah." He said, "I've been doing this a long time." I said, I'm sorry. What do you mean by that?" He said, "Oh yeah, I've been drinking a long time. These are 10th graders." Um, and I said, "I don't think you should be telling me that." He said, "No, it's all right." He said, "No one cares." That was his, and that's all he said. And I said, "Well, I kind of care that you're doing that." I said, do you want to talk to your counselor?" He's like, "Nah, it doesn't matter." And this kid just got up and walked away. And I looked at the teacher and I said, "Did you just hear that?" She said, "Yeah, he's been having problems for a while." I'm like, "And does he need some additional help?" This is not my job to ask you these questions, but I feel like this kid is crying out because he said it doesn't matter. And he was perfectly calm when he said it. There was no sadness. It was like he was completely disassociated from everything. I've gone to these classes, and guess what? I've had several students say, "Oh, I'm never drinking," because I have them put these goggles on. I have them do these tasks, and there were several girls actually in one class when I trained or did a speaking engagement, and they all said, "I'm not drinking." They said, "I don't like feeling like that. That was not right." And I said, "Good." I said, that's what I like to hear." They said, "We just didn't know it was that bad." And I said, "Okay." I said, "So yeah, I'm glad you got through in this class." I said, "But yes, it's that bad." And one young lady said, she said, "Wait, people drive like that?" I said, "Unfortunately, they do." She said, "You can't see." I said, "Exactly." So I've gone to these classes, I've taught these students, and again, they open up, they just I didn't probe, I didn't do anything, but they have things to say. You just have to ask them the question and let them speak. Because just like they put everything on social media, they're talkers. You just have to open it up for them. Uh, like I said, the same situation. Just help the kids understand why alcohol can be dangerous. Again, empathy, trust. Keeping an open line of communication with any young adult is very important. Parents are busy. I get it. We're running all a mile a minute. We have work, schedules, kids, food, got to get food on the table, have to eat, try to maintain our own health and wellness, drink enough water throughout the day. Uh, and some of us have to go in and out of the city dealing with traffic. So we're spending a lot of time doing for everybody else, and it's a lot of times kids don't get the empathy and the time because everyone's just trying to get through the day. So taking out 30 minutes a week just to have that conversation with your kids. Hey, what's going on? Some parents are able to do it every day. That is amazing. Some parents can't. There are some parents that are working 2 jobs. They don't have the time, but they hope that they've given their kids enough uh, uh, a good moral compass to make good decisions. So it's more time. It's more just taking the time to talk to kids, reassuring them that it's going to be okay, and that that you want to trust them to make the good decisions. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a bit too fast. I'm what you doing on time? Great. So just to round this out, I do have some references. Nancy, if you like, I can send this PowerPoint to and you as well. You can disperse if you like.
Good. We've had several people ask if they could have a copy.
Oh yeah, and we have a ton of references to go with some of the information in here as well. Um,
Wow.
So I'll send all these. I believe all these links should work. I'll check them before I send it to you. But yeah, at the end of the day, parents, this holiday season, you're gonna see these products a little bit more, and you're gonna see them. Just keep them out of reach of your children. And I would say, I talk to your older. If you have older kids in the house, and you have younger kids in the house, have the conversation with the older kids to be a better example. If they're 21 years old and they're at your house because they're college students, make sure have that conversation. Hey, don't come in here that way. You don't want your brother, sister, whatever to see that, because they look up to you. Now, all of these starts with parents, but those young adults, they have a huge influence on their younger siblings as well. So it's a trickle down effect. And if you guys ever need anything, like I said, I'm getting information on a day to day basis. And like I said, I search TikTok at least 3-4 times a day. Uh, and I know there's other products out there. I think at the last meeting, there was a young lady who was talking about I want to say it was pudding. It was something that was out there at a Aldi's. I did find it. It is alcohol infused.
Did you find it? I
I did
couldn't.
find it. And I was like, oh no, great, another one. At this point, every time I go into a store, I look for things now. Because I don't know. Like I said, the whipped cream, the ice cream, that was a random just walking past saying, is that infused ice cream? And our agency does a good job. When we see things, we talk about it, because we don't. A lot of times these things just pop up, and if we're not aware of it, we want to make sure the public is, because again, we are regulators at the end of the day, and we have to safeguard the public, the communities, especially the children, because if we don't, who will? And so here's all my information. If you need it, call me, reach out to me. We have a lot of learning materials on our website as well. Our interns this year made a pamphlet for college students on how to be safe dealing with alcohol on campus. That is on our website too. I can send a copy to you as well, Nancy, so you can disperse that.
Yeah,
And it
that
was
would be
all the.
great.
I said, you guys create something. I want you to talk about fraternities. I want you to have the discussion, and I want you to put it in a pamphlet, things that can help.
Right.
Um,
Well, we'll send out certificates. It'll probably be the week after Thanksgiving because things are really busy until then. So if we get your slides and anything else like that, that the pamphlet and stuff, that we can send it all out together to
I'll
them.
send it out to you today. Let me just check the links to make sure they all work. Then I'll shoot it to you this
Oh,
afternoon.
that's fine. Does anybody have a quick question to put in chat and we can share? Okay, there's 2 hands raised. I can't see you, so. Percent to a group of people, our agency has parenting groups, was a question.
Should I say that again?
Do you present to a group of people? Our agency has parenting groups. I'm
Yeah.
assuming they're talking about face to face, like maybe Zoom. I don't know.
Yes. So if you reach out to me and ask me, I'm actually putting together a schedule for 2025. Then as long as I have time, I have no problem doing it. Typically, it's about an hour long. So, but if you need me to go longer than that, just let me know. And if
I
you have
got,
specific topics, just let me know.
yeah, I've got another one that I wanted to know if you could come to schools.
I do. So a lot of my information is actually me speaking to students. So some of the stuff in this deck alone were students telling me these things. So they'll tell me things and I'll say, okay, let me go look it up and research to make sure, it's valid. But a lot of times I go to these schools and they have full conversations with me.
Cool. This was good as usual.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. And also pay attention to those young people coming home Wednesday on the 27th.
Well, I live in a college town. It clears out on the Wednesday
You're lucky.
rather than coming home.
There's gonna be some moms this Thanksgiving Day wondering why their kid doesn't want to help them cook the next morning.
Yeah.
Now they know why.
So there is a question of, are you willing to travel all over the state?
So I do travel across the state. Again, that just let me know ahead of time. I because we have two offices, one in Chicago, one in Springfield. So I actually do trainings in Springfield. So if those trains are usually 4 hours long, but if I do an hour speaking engagement, that's a whole day in Springfield. It can be done.
Yeah, well, I happen to know this person lives a lot farther than Springfield from
How
you.
far? Because the furthest I've traveled has been O'Fallon, Illinois.
Probably a little farther.
Oh, you're down there near like Missouri. Oh wait, no, I've been to the Coin. That's where that's the furthest I've traveled. The Coin.
So, I mean, I think that with an interest, if people are open to doing a Zoom too, they could let you know if that works.
Yeah, and we also do a youth alcohol summit. We did one this year at the state fair. We'll probably do it. I'm sure we'll do it again. Uh, and we actually had a panel of college students on this panel that did all the talking. They ran the whole show, from the moderator to the speakers. They asked their own they asked the questions, and we let them just. I'm very big on letting the young people talk.
Yeah, that's the only way you're going to get them to share is if they feel like they have ownership of it.
Give them the mic and let them fly, and they will have all types of conversation for you.
Yeah. Well, it's actually 2 minutes after two. Not that I'm worried about it, but I just really appreciate your time, Nicole. And as the comments on the chat have been great, they really have enjoyed it and feel like they've gotten. Obviously, they want you, so because all these people are
Again,
asking
reach out.
about your availability.
No, reach out. Let me know. Like Nancy said earlier, right now, I'm sure 2025 is the best time. I'm going to be out for 2 weeks in December. So the last 2 weeks, I'm finally taking a vacation after 2 years. So,
Yeah.
but starting in 2025, we will be back on the road probably the third or fourth week.
Okay.
And hopefully, I'll have some staff hired in the next 3 months, so they can also be part of the go out and talk and be part of the community
Right.
group.
I did have a question about whether there'd be a video, and as long as Zoom recorded this the way it was supposed to, the last one we did, we clicked on recording and Zoom still didn't record it, but this one shows that it's recording. It will be posted within the next 2 weeks, and you can go on there and watch it at any point in time on our website.
Thank you. That's great.
There
Uh,
was one more question that came in. Is there a fee for you to like to travel to get to places? Do you charge for your workshops?
that is actually the first time anyone's ever asked me that. No, no, not to my knowledge. Again, this is a we're regulators. Part of our job is to provide information and education to the public. So as long as you guys give me a heads up and we discuss the day and times and it doesn't conflict with anything, I am more than willing to come and speak. I will say I would like the group to be at least 20-25 people. If because anything other than that, I can do a webinar and it still has the same impact, I feel.
Right.
It is also nice if you guys want to join organizations or schools and do a large group at once, like different, like multiple communities at once. That's great too. That way I can talk to multiple people. So however you guys want to,
Great.
that's fine.
Well, we didn't have a huge group, although we ended up with almost 30 at one point.
That's a huge group to me.
Yeah, so I really appreciate everybody. I want you to have very safe holidays with Thanksgiving coming up and enjoy it. And
Be responsible, drink responsibly,
there
people,
you go.
and
There you
have fun
go.
with your children.
So, Nicole, thank you. We will talk soon.
All right, have a good one. Thank you, everyone.
Uh-huh. Bye-bye.